Welcome back, Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for joining me to another episode of Music with Nick. Today, we're going to pay tribute to the legend that was Tina Turner. Thank you so much, JK, for sponsoring this marathon. I'm super excited to do this. Let me give you here the songs that we're gonna listen to today. I am familiar, of course, with What's Love Got to Do with It. I think this was one of her biggest hits, so I have heard it, but I've never really analyzed it. And I used to play Proud Mary in a band in Mexico, but I've never heard the original, so I've only heard basically the cover version that I used to do, and of course the original by Clearwater Revival. So yeah, so I wanted to keep the list as it is, and so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Proud Mary from Ike and Tina Turner working together. This is from 1970. Then we're gonna do Ike and Tina Turner called River Deep Mountain. This is from 66, so before. Then we're going to do Tina Turner, the Acid Queen from Tommy, the movie, the original soundtrack. Then we're going to do Private Dancer from 1984 and What's Love Got to Do with It. So, like I said, I've heard the song. We watched her movie. I do recommend it very, very much. I think it was on HBO, her, life. And it's, of course, I think it was even produced by her or something, or she helped produce it. But it's a hard film to watch. There's a lot of, unfortunately, physical abuse from the side of the husband. So if you don't like to watch that kind of stuff, then I just want to warn you, because it is a bit on the violent side there. So, but yeah, other than that, I think Tina Turner was a legend, and I don't know all of her stuff, but I've heard, of course, I think one of her songs called Simply the Best or something with Eros Ramazzotti. I'm a huge fan of Eros Ramazzotti. So yeah, so I'm just very, very glad to be able to do this through you guys. Thanks again, JK, for sponsoring the video. And unfortunately, as you guys know, I put up a video. My uncle died the same day as Tina Turner did, so that was kind of like a weird situation. I hadn't had a family death since I was like a teen, like a preteen, so it really hit me hard. Even though me and my uncle were never really close, unfortunately, and I don't have another uncle. I just had one, so. Yeah, it was just a weird and sad situation to, lose a legend and then also lose a family member. And, but I did speak with my mom and she cheered me up. So she's, was our only brother. And, but we spoke and she cheered me up, and she's doing well. So here we go. So thank you so much again. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, ready to go. And so we're going to start it off with Proud Mary. Now, there's a nice story here to be told. As you guys know, I used to play in this band in my early 20s. And basically, I was just, starting to, study music and starting to read and, just learning. And I was like the youngest, and all members of this band were already in their 50s, so they were good, and they kind of like took me under their wing, and they told me everything that you don't do in a band, like for example, like play too loud, and they taught me how to listen, and listen to your band members, know when to play loud, when to play low, give your fellow musicians time to breathe. There was a lot of improvisation. So basically, we used to do Proud Mary, and I know it's a Creedence tune, and it's so funny because Bob, who was the vocalist, guitar player as well, and flute and sax, and he would always say to the to the audience before we started. We're gonna do Proud Mary, but we're gonna do it Tina Turner style. But then we would just do like almost like a reggae version of it, and Bob would always tell me, okay, I want you to solo your ass off on this, okay? You know, like, so but I've never heard this version, so I'm very curious to compare it with what we used to do with this. This is the official, like, Tina Turner version of Proud Mary, which is a cover. So I'm very curious what this is going to sound like, because I just know that we used to do this version was a reggae version with distortion, but it was also very jazzy. So let's see what Ike and Tina did with this version. So here we go. Proud Mary, for the first time ever. I'm going to listen to this song that I played hundreds of times. So here we go. Okay, it didn't not start like that.
You know, every now and then I think you might like to hear something from us. Nice and easy. But there's just one thing, you see, we never ever do nothing nice and easy. We always do it nice and rough. And we're gonna take the beginning of this song and do it easy. But then we're gonna do the finish rough. It's the way we do Proud Mary. Rolling, rolling.
Yeah, we didn't play it like that.
Rolling on the river. Listen to the story now. Left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, and I was worrying about the way that things might have been.
Okay, this sounds just like the original. I'm sure it's gonna pick up and get faster, but we basically started like like that, and just kept it up. We never did like the so that is already super different. So yeah.
Big wheel keep on turning. Ooh, the Proud Mary keep on burning. And we're rolling,
Rolling,
rolling, yeah,
rolling,
rolling on the river.
rolling on the river.
Cleaned a lot of plates in Memphis,
And I
pumped a lot of tang down in New Orleans. But I never saw the good side of the city until I hitched the ride on the riverboat queen.
know that
Big wheel keep on turning. Ooh, the Proud Mary keep on burning. And we're rolling,
rolling,
rolling, yeah,
rolling,
rolling on the river.
rolling on the river.
Say we're rolling,
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 rolling on the river.
rolling on the river.
That's right. Here's where they're gonna chill.
Oh, I left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. And I never lost 1 minute of sleep, and worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, turning, Proud Mary keep on burning, burning, rolling, rolling, all right, rolling on the river.
So good. Yeah, definitely. We did it more in this style, but still not like the rock and roll, like do 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 do. It was, I don't know. It was just completely like Bob's version. He was more like the guy, the creative force behind all the musicians, and but he would always tell me, I want you to play that like that that the trumpet does with the electric guitar. And of course I would just like, I was heavy into, you know, heavy metal and shred guitar and playing fast, and he loved that because he was just like, you know, go as fast as you can, like just play like play, you know, like really like try to impress these people. And you know, so I tried. And yeah, and we pulled it off. It was always a great tune, and it was always with a lot of applause, and we made it long. Everybody would solo, and so yeah, a lot of fun. But yeah, this is definitely very, very different than what we used to do, but I think it's perfect, you know. It's Tina Turner.
Rolling, rolling on a river, river. If you come down to the river, now I bet you're gonna find some people who live. You don't have to worry if you got no money. The people on the river are happy to give. This will keep on turning, turning round, and keep on burning, burning, rolling, still rolling, yeah, rolling on the river, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river, river.
Yeah, wow. Beautiful. And even for the 70s, because I think she became like this icon in the 80s when she went solo and did all this amazing work by herself, I think. Like, you know, like what is it called? What's love got to do with it, when she became more like a pop star, but still with all that soul and all that experience, you know. This was, I love how much soul was in this, and how much you know, it's just like their style is really cool. Her style of singing is just wonderful. She has that amazing voice. So okay, just give me one moment. We're gonna continue with River Deep.
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, only doll I've ever owned. Now I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown, and it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me say
this. Her voice is so unique, and I do. Unfortunately, I mean, what happened to her, like depicted in the movie, and I'm sure it's pretty accurate because I mean, she was behind it. Um, she participated with the production and the whole story. So this, her husband Ike, he was very abusive, and you can almost hear it in her voice. That you can hear the pain. It was not a healthy relationship. It was very toxic and very violent, and it's just horrible. The movie's very hard to watch. There's a lot of I even for a moment, and I really like what's his name, the actor who portrayed him, because he's in movies that I enjoy very much, like Boys in the Hood and The Matrix, and I just don't recall his name right now. I know him. I've said his name thousands of times, but I really disliked him as a just even like visually, you know. In that movie, he played that part so well, and he was just a bastard, you know. So I do recommend the movie, you know, if you want to watch, you know, the life of Tina Turner in like a biopic, you know, kind of way. But yeah, great song. I love that the orchestra is so far away. It's almost like it seems that the musicians are in a different room or something. The way it was recorded, a little bit more old school. I mean, yeah, it's 66. You can hear that the production wasn't like the best, but still great tune. Did you hear how much reverb was in the room? I think it was but it was because of her voice, you know. It was all about that. That was the important thing. She had such an iconic voice, and I think the instruments were just secondary, and I think just the setup in this song was a little bit different. It was very reverby-ish, and it was a little bit far away, but still amazing. So now I've never seen Tommy, I know, and when I looked up the cover, I saw some pictures, I think, so she's in the movie, and I guess because there were some still images of her in like some kind of suit, and I also remember that she was in Mad Max 3, and she was just she was like not really a villain, but she was like the big shot. There's just some kind of queen or something. I don't remember the movie. I was too small. But yeah, she's definitely in it, and she's on the cover too. She's always been such a beautiful woman. You know, like her hair, wild hair, and it's just something very special. So let's listen to her, the Acid Queen.
Child ain't all he should be now. This girl will put him right. I'll show him what he could be now. Just give me one night. I'm the gypsy, the acid queen. Pay me before I'm done. I'm the gypsy, and I'm guaranteed to mend his aching heart. Give us a room, close the door, leave us for a while. You won't be a boy no more, young but not a child. 'Cause I'm the gypsy, the acid queen, living before I'm down. The gypsy, I'm guaranteed to tear your soul apart. Gather your wits and hold on fast. Your mind must learn to roll, just as the gypsy queen must do. You're gonna hit the road. My work's begun. Now look at him. He's never been more alive. His head shakes, his fingers clutch. Watch his body rise. I'm the gypsy, acid queen, living before I'm done. I'm the gypsy, I'm guaranteed to break your little heart.
Wow, I love it. I'm loving it. I love the that it's very theatrical. It has that vibe, you know, of like a play or a movie. And I was once exposed to Tommy. It's too long ago to remember. It was, I think, back maybe like 20 years ago. We used to stay with this friend, and he had like this amazing ranch with these bungalows, and it was very like they would rent them out to, you know, to people vacationing in Puerto Vallarta, Punta Mita, and it was just magical, like the setup they had there. And so I would obviously so it was basically like a bed and breakfast, and just like private bungalows, very romantic, like, you know, near the beach with the stars. It was, I would stay there like hundreds of times, and for free, of course, because they were my friends. He was in the same high school. And one time we had this guy who was staying there for like 2 or 3 days over the weekend, and he brought a guitar, and he knew the entire Tommy play by memory, and all the vocals. And so you would just say, hey, have you guys ever heard Tommy? And I didn't know it was, you know, what band it was, or that it was a big deal. And he played us the whole damn thing. And it was just like, we were just impressed by his guitar skills and his vocal skills. But musically, I don't remember anything. And I'm sure he played this one too. So there you go. That happened. So yeah, this is great.
If your child ain't all he should be now, this girl will put him right. I'll show him what he could be now. Just give me one more night. I'm a gypsy, the acid queen, living before I'm done. I'm the gypsy, I'm guaranteed to tear his soul
I love it. Very cool. Very cool. So good for her and the laugh, the energy. She was just, larger than life. Really, really cool. Just everything I hear from her is perfect. So now I think this is one of her biggest successes. This album, Private Dancer, 1984. What a year! It always comes up, and there was just the outpour in music during the 80s, and especially mid 80s, was ridiculous. So this is over 7 minutes long. Private Dancer, never heard it. Let's go.
Well, the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their names. You don't think of them as human. You don't think of them at all. You keep your mind on the money, keeping your eyes on the wall. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I wanna make $1 million. I wanna live out by the sea, have a husband and some children. Yeah, I guess I want a family. All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their name. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. Just a private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. Dutch marks are dollars. American Express will do nicely, thank you. Let me loosen up your collar. Tell me, do you wanna see me do the shimmy again?
Yeah, this is a totally different Tina Turner. I think this is after her, after she got, after she freed herself of the Terminal's marriage with Ike, and I love her voice here, like very deep, and it has more of a jazzy flair to it. The whole thing, the production value is top notch, and I don't know. This is like when she got really successful, I think, and it sounds really good. I mean, I love this. This is a Tina Turner that I would listen to, I guess, a bit more than the. I don't know. It's just like sounds so good. It's like compared a little bit with Sting or Sade. That kind of style. With all these great musicians, and yeah, really cool. Can't wait for and I remember this a guy. There was a documentary on the sax player, and the guy who I guess he would wear some kind of like uh piece, you know, like I don't know, something like, and Tina Turner gave it to him to wear, like almost like a guard for his groin. And he's called the sax guy or something, but he's like super buff. Like he looks like a bodybuilder playing this little saxophone because he's so big. And unfortunately, after the 90s, like the sax became very unpopular for some reason, and saxophone players were out of jobs, you know, because bands would not have sax anymore in them. So that was a bummer. But I mean, in the 80s, pretty much every great song had a sax solo instead of a guitar solo. But yeah, let's continue.
The men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their names. You don't think of them as human. No, you don't think of them at all. You keep your mind on the money, keeping your eyes on the wall. And your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. And any old music will do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. And any old music will do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Just a private dancer, dancer for money.
Wow, what a great song. She was literally, I think, just about around 39 or 40 years old when I mean, because she passed away at 83. So 39 years old when she recorded this. Wow. Literally halfway through her life. What a great career, you know, to have. And even, I mean, of course, she had a career in her 20s and 30s, but I think it really took off and made her like a superstar in her later in life. What now is called, you know, middle aged. I guess always has been middle aged, but I don't know. We have like this recurring gag, like in the family, you know, like Alexia's dad. He's 60 years old, but he looks so much younger. So we're like, oh yeah, 60. The 60s are the new 40s, and because he also acts, you know, he does all kinds of sports with us, and he goes everywhere, and we go to the movie theaters, and you know, and do all these stuff. We go roller skating and snowboarding, and he's very active, and he doesn't seem, you know, like someone. That's why I always say 60s is not old. You know, anybody who says I'm 60 years old and I'm old, or I feel old, then you're doing something wrong. But I mean, I understand the circumstances. It depends on the lifestyle, or the abuse, or an accident, or you know, you can hurt yourself, you know. So be careful, you know, be careful whatever you do. And Mario's always been careful. He never drank, he never smoked. It's just, I guess, you know, your lifestyle depends a lot, you know. So take good care of yourselves, guys. You know, if that is a message I can give you guys. I stopped drinking literally when I was 22 years old. I had some fun. I thought it was a waste of time, you know, but that's my decision. That's my choice. I used to smoke cigarettes. I stopped. I'm also in my mid-20s. So I think I made a good choice, you know. I'm happy that I'm rid of these vices, but, you know, my parents smoked until they're 50, so you know, everybody does their own little things. So okay, so this is the one that I know, but I've never really paid attention to it. I know that this is one of her biggest hits. Let's see, let's just look if this is her biggest. Yes, it's 379 million. Oh my, that hair, I love that hair. Her hair is so good, so beautiful. So let's listen to her most famous song. Here we go. It's like a pan flute.
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it?
Gives me shivers.
Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? It may seem to you that I'm acting confused when you're close to me.
The guitar.
If I tend to look dazed, I read it someplace. I've got cause to be. There's a name for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it for me. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who
Wow. I could not interrupt this. I loved it. I loved it. I got a little bit emotional because I don't know. I guess it did bring back, I don't know, some kind of memory because it is so familiar, you know. So and I'm just happy, you know, that it went so well for her after this tumulus tumulus relationship that she had, and I'm happy that she was happy afterwards because you could really see, you know, at the end of the movie when they play the song, and then you can see a real footage of her, you know, and she was in a great place, and I loved the arrangement of the song, all the even though it was a lot of synth, but I almost felt I was listening to something as good as Steely Dan, in the realm of, you know, like the Nightfly, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, Steely Dan from the 80s, and then Donald Fagen, you know, with his Nightfly, and that's the vibe that I got from the song. It was just perfection, and I love when she said, I gotta look out for my own protection, you know, like, and it's just such a great lyric, you know. What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? That's such a powerful lyric, and it's so true. And yeah, I shed another tear, another marathon, another tear. Here we go. But it's, you know, it's, I've always been with music is what gets me. In movies it can be, you know, nothing of the scene that's, I mean, it usually is what, when there's good dialogue with a good score, that does it for me. That's the most important aspect of a movie for me. Of course the acting has to play along with the dialogue, but sometimes I can just hear a score and just, you know, Ted Sheer. And I the good thing is I've heard this from other people in the comment section that they feel the same, you know. Can every time I watch as good as it gets, I cry like multiple times throughout the movie, just, but even with just the acting, you know, they're that good. You know, I think the entire cast of that movie is so wonderful and marvelous. And then Hans Zimmer with his, you know, cues. There's some cues. Because the score is kind of like almost like a little bit humorous, you know, that doo-dum ba-da-dum, ba-dum ba-da-dum, you know. But then there's some really nice string cues along with the lines, like when she tells him, you know, if you ever talk about my son again, you'll never be able to eat here again. And then he's like, and there's like this really nice strings behind her, and also the expression when she tells him, you know, you understand me, and then she calls him you stupid, you know. That's just a scene that gets me every time because it's so powerful. It's a mother defending her son literally to death, you know. It's like, and with words, you know, it's like, I'm gonna ban you, you know, if you ever talk about my son again, because he was being very disrespectful and very cold. And you know how Jack Nicholson's character is just a complete asshole at the beginning of the movie, and then there's the redemption arc, and that's, I love that movie so much. But this was a great marathon. Thank you so much for this, JK. This was wonderful. And I do, oh, okay, that was not supposed to happen. I do appreciate you and you know, the other guys who sponsor all these marathons, and it helps so much. And I just like did a whole rant. If you want to watch my my movie, my video on what was it? And it was the one that I'll call. Give me a second. The song in it are, you know, Rod Stewart, Joe Jackson, The Association, The Kinks, and Elvis Costello. So it is pretty much well, he called it Girls, Girls, Girls. Check out the video. It was requested by Sidecar Dog, and I have a long rant about, you know, copyright restrictions and all that BS. If you want to watch it, I think it's the first time that I speak out a little bit about this, you know, constant struggle, which is so pointless. It's like, come on, like, we're literally giving you free advertisement every day. Just take it and let us have fun with music. Let us listen to music and share, you know. I mean, we're in the age of the internet. What's the problem, you know? I mean, it's not like we're pirating, like, I don't know, it's not like we're making thousands of dollars, you know, with these videos. We're making this zero. We only make what you guys, you know, sponsor, and that's it. And the Patreon, that's basically it. So yeah, so but I'm not gonna rant again. Thank you so much for watching. This was a great tribute to Tina Turner. What a legend, what a sound, what a voice, what a career. So let's, you know, keep her in our hearts, and also my uncle. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.